Hello, everybody. Happy fall. Some of you may call it autumn. I am in love with fall. I love the colors. I love the freshness of the wind blowing on you. I love sitting outside and reading or meditating or just enjoying nature. This is an amazing time of year. So, I am doing an old-fashioned vanilla pound cake for you today, and I am doing it strategically, step by step, so that if you're a first timer, it is very easy to do. Now, I will say this. The one thing you want to make sure before doing this pound cake, because no doubt I know you can do it step by step, make sure your heating element in your oven, the temperature is good. If your oven is new and you've had no problems out of the heating, fine. But if your element is wearing out or not giving you the temperature that you need to get that checked, okay? I find often I hear people say, oh, I can't make a pound cake. It always falls or it doesn't cook all the way through. Okay, I'm going to give this to you as simple as it is. Look for my information on Facebook. It should be coming out in a couple of weeks. This is my son-in-law, B's favorite pound cake. So dedicating this video to him. So anyways, and KC too, because this cake that I'm doing here is basically his cake. So anyway, we're going to do this as strategically as possible, okay? Okay, so for starters, what you are going to need is you're going to need 2 sticks of butter, half a cup of Crisco vegetable shortening. You're going to need vanilla. Now, I usually use vanilla extract, but I don't have it, and this works well. You're going to need baking powder, 5 large eggs, 3 cups of sugar, a cup of milk, and 3 cups of sifted flour. Okay, everything should be set out at room temperature. And the reason why you want that is because when you start, you mix your butter and your shortening together, you want to start incorporating room temperature ingredients. Because if you do ice cold milk or ice cold eggs into this butter mixture, it will cause the butter to harden back up. So you don't want that, okay? So these are all of the ingredients. I am using a KitchenAid my daughters gave me for Christmas a few years back. I love it, absolutely love it. And I want to kind of bring to you all's attention as well. I'm going to back up a little bit and do a little story time. I had a home economics teacher. Her name was Miss Fanny Hennett, and this was when I was in high school. And she was adamant about us doing things right, literally the details and everything. And she made pound cakes on the side. And my brother and we used to buy her pound cakes. And boy, they were so delicious, so delicious. She was such a positive force in my life. And as far as learning the details of sewing and the domesticated cooking and baking, I learned it from her. I learned it from her at school. And so anyway, I wanted to show you, this is a cup, okay? It's a measuring cup. And she used to always tell us, do not put liquids in a solid measuring cup. These cups here, you see them in all different kinds of, like, they can come in bronze or brass or silver or whatever. They can come in plastic. But you should always use these for your solids, like your shortening or your flour or your sugar, okay? Or like if you have chopped nuts or berries, this is what you need to use, okay? Whereas this right here, it is a liquid measuring cup. And I see people make cakes all the time, and they use those solid, they use these solid ones like this for the liquid and the solids. Don't do that. Make sure you separate your solids from your liquid, because I personally feel like there is a smidgen difference. Because if you look at this cup right here, if you fill it all the way up to the top, I don't know if you're going to get more fluid or less liquid. I don't know. So I would keep solids in here and liquids in there. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is cream our butter and our shortening. And you want to do this on the lowest speed possible. And as it blends, you want to turn it up just one more notch. Now you might be using a handheld mixer. Be patient with it. Just still keep it on like the low speed. As it mixes up a little, you can increase. You only want to blend this maybe about 2 or 3 minutes, not very long. You don't want to overblend your butter. Okay, so that's good. It may look a little lumpy. It's not going to look any differently than that, not until you put your sugar in. So now we're going to put our sugar in. Again, only blend it on the lowest speed, because if you don't, it will fly out everywhere. And once it incorporates that sugar, you can blend it just a little higher. I'm going to increase the speed just by 1 notch. All right. Okay, what we're going to do now is add our eggs one at a time. And as you notice, I have already cracked my eggs and put them in the bowl. Now, the reason why I would not crack my eggs in this bowl one at a time, because if a piece of shell falls in and you don't see it, and it gets mixed up into this batter, it is a lot harder to pick them out than to pick them out here in this bowl if they were to fall in this bowl when cracking. So just keep that in mind. You want to blend one at a time and let each egg incorporate. And again, we're going to start on a low speed. going to increase the speed just a little. At this point, you're going to stop and scrape your bowl down. Make sure you have spatulas like this, because having good spatulas is going to assure you're scraping the bowl down like this. Okay, so what we're going to do now is blend just a little bit, not much, just to get all that incorporated. Next, what we're going to do is intertwine our flour and our milk. So my preferred flour to use is King Arthur all-purpose flour. That is what I use, and it's pre-sifted, but I have this, and I do like to sift mine 1 cup at a time into the bowl. I've used several different brands of flour, and the one thing I noticed with the King Arthur is when I sift it in this bowl, there's not little bits or hard balls left in the sifter. So what I'm going to do now is alternate the flour and the milk. And there's no certain amount that you need to do this. You can do it little by little, or you can do it like in thirds. You can do it that way. Again, put it on the very lowest because it will fly everywhere. I like to pour my milk down the side like this. I give it a little time to mix up, and I pour in some more. You just want to let that incorporate real well before you increase your speed. So that's good. See how that flew up? I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to let it go just a little. Then I'm going to give it one more. Also, one thing that I have found in baking my pound cakes, off-brand sugars they are not the best quality sugars. I usually like Domino's or Diamond Sugar. Those two work really well for me. You could use an off-brand sugar, and believe it or not, I have used sugar from like Aldi and places like that, but I do try to stick with Diamond and Domino's. All right, so that's good. What I'm gonna do now is scrape the bowl. I'm just gonna scrape it down because we don't want like butter stuck at the bottom. It's so beautiful today. I have this window open here. My plants love it. And have the window open. And today I think it's supposed to be a high of just 70. Nights have been nice and cool. And yeah, I think I'm gonna take me a walk today after I get my little errands ran. But yeah, check me out on Facebook in a couple of weeks. You know, the holidays are coming. We work. We are busy doing all kinds of things. And let somebody else do the desserts for you. I'll be glad to do them for you. I do all kinds of pound cakes. And I can do a regular cake as well, but I think for going forward, I'm just going to do pound cake and keep it simple. Okay, so we got it all scraped down, and now I'm just going to give it one good whiff before I put my vanilla in. And I wanted to back up a little bit. The flour, always put my baking powder in the flour. 1 teaspoon of baking powder in the flour. So I am going to mark this video. Each step is going to have the ingredients. So you can stop and start your video and do it that way. Again, I prefer to use vanilla extract, which I'm going to the warehouse and get me a big bottle this week. See, that's it. I'm out of that. I won't buy that anymore. The only reason why I won't buy it is because I prefer the real extract. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to slowly put it on the very bottom. And once you get it incorporated, you're going to go through it. All right, we're all finished. Now what I'm going to do now is pause. Okay, now we are going to put the batter in the pan. And the way I like to do it, this is a real hard task because it's heavy, very heavy. So I know you can't see from there. Let me see if I can move it over for you. But the way I like to put my batter in is I'll put a little on one side, a little on that side, and I'll put some on this side. Okay, this spatula is working really good for me today. Good, we didn't have any butter on the bottom of the pan, which is awesome. I love that. Look at how silky that is. When you take your time and make your pound cake, there is no way that it will fail. And like I said before, everything has to be on point. Your element, needs to be, your rack needs to be in the middle of your oven. You don't want it way on the bottom because you're going to burn the bottom of your pound cake. So I don't do it like this. I take the knife side of this and I slowly go around. Okay? I slowly go around and make sure that then you can take your flat side and smooth it out. Yeah. You know, baking is so therapeutic. I just realized, and I think it's just the Holy Spirit bringing it to my soul. This is so therapeutic, and He is confirming something for me right now that I can't share. But this is so therapeutic to get in here and to just create something delicious and beautiful. You know, back in the day, even today, you know, we go to Thanksgiving dinner, and I think I can speak for most families that when you go to that dinner, you are looking for those favorite recipes because you don't get them during the year. And yeah, so so you're looking for those different recipes for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And, you know, food is love. Food is love. And years ago, back in the slavery days, they didn't have a lot of money. Food was love. And I'm gonna share this. The reason why I know this is through experience. When I was a child growing up in Sedalia, every Thanksgiving, my Auntie Vandilla, when I tell you, she put out such a spread for Thanksgiving, and we would go over there, and she didn't have a lot. She didn't have a lot of room. She had this huge table in this little area, but it was love. It was love. She made everything from scratch. And to this day, she and my Miss Hennett and my mother, they're the ones that taught me how to cook. And there's a couple of famous chefs that as I got older, I got some tips and learned from them as well. But like I said, food is love. And if you don't have nothing else, you know, sometimes just get in the kitchen, make a cake for your kids, make some chocolate chip cookies, or make some homemade brownies. Just, you know, these are things that people look forward to in the fall season. So now we are going to put this cake in the oven on 325. It is preheated now, and I moved my rack to the middle. So, all right, let's do this. So I just put the cake in the oven, and I came to my remembrance that you want to set your timer for 1 hour and 15 minutes on 325. A lot of people do not tell you this when you're baking a pound cake, but I'm going to tell you from the old school. Number one, do not allow kids to run in and out of the kitchen, running in and out, the shaking of the floor. When that cake gets to a place where it rises up, if there is hard knocks or anything, and I'm not saying you can still be in the kitchen, but I'm just saying, too much heavy stomping in the kitchen can ruin your cake, believe it or not, okay? And the other thing I want to share with you is don't open the oven door. you have a light. You should have a light on your oven, and you can open that, you can turn that light on when you want to look at it. But what happens is when you open that oven door and the heat comes out and the temperature changes in there, it has to build back up to 325 or the temperature you have it set on. So I've learned that the hard way. Do not do that. Okay. Now, nearing the hour and 15 minutes, and you may experience it around an hour and 10 minutes, you will smell the cake. That is a true sign that it's almost ready. Okay? It is so simple. When you start smelling it all over the house, that's a true sign that it's almost ready. If you have skewers or a thin, sharp knife, once you think that it's ready, then go to the center. Just poke it all the way down. If you pull it out and it's clean, it's ready. Okay? Take it out and put it on the counter somewhere. Okay? You want to let it set for about 5 to 10 minutes before you flip it out. And I didn't get to tell you this before, but you can use Baker's Secret or Quick Release to spray your pan. I do it the old school way. I use Crisco shortening. I go in all the crevices with my clean hands. I put a little flour in there and I knock that flour out. I literally hit the pan on the corner of the sink and knock that excess flour out. That's what I prefer to do. But I guess because I know what's going into my cake, and I'm not speaking against Baker's Secret or Quick Release or that kind of thing, but I have come to a place where I don't like chemicals in my body. I don't like chemicals of no kind in my body. So when the cake is ready, I will show you. I wish you could smell the aroma in my apartment. It smells so delicious. Our cake is ready. So as you can see, if you take that skewer, push all the way down, and it comes clean. It's ready. What I'm getting ready to do now is I am going to prep my board and my box. And once I flip it out onto my board, I will let it set on the counter for about 20 to 25 minutes before I wrap it and box it.